Hello, everyone. I see that some of you are on with us at the moment. We have about 1 more minute before we start our presentation today, hosted by Mann Travels and presented by Karen Kersey with Celebrity Cruises. We know that it's a hard time for all of us right now. We know that we can't really travel at the moment, but this is to hopefully get you excited about future travel and when we can travel again, and that time will come. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another minute. If you need any tips on Zoom, technology-wise, I have muted everyone, so you will not be heard. It's your option if you want to be seen. So we're leaving it up to you on that aspect. And it's 3 o'clock, so I am going to go ahead and officially turn this over to Karen Kersey, and her presentation will be up here shortly, and she can take it away. Karen,
thanks so much.
Yours.
Thanks, Billy. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to visit with folks and just share some information. You're right, it's a tough time for everyone, but I love a lot of the hashtags that have come out of this, you know, dream now, cruise later. I think we're all looking forward to that opportunity to be able to plan some future vacations, maybe some things that are bucket list destinations for us, or maybe just someplace we've been before and would like to revisit. So with that, again, I'm Karen Kersey with Celebrity Cruises, and we'll just move to the next slide, and I will tell you that we are going to take you on a very brief tour of Celebrities Canada and New England Cruise. Now, this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for the fall departures. The season here is typically late summer through fall. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous itinerary that takes you up at one of the most beautiful seasons of the year and to some areas that have not only a huge amount of history, but also have some incredible scenery to be seen during that time. Whether you're interested in cruising the St. Lawrence River, or you just want to relax out on your veranda and just really, really enjoy the beauty as we go by. So let's take a look real quick next at what this actually looks like during this time. Are we going there?
Can't see me.
There we go. Not only are we going to take you to a beautiful destination, but we're going to take you on an incredible ship. The Celebrity Summit is the ship that we will be on, and this ship has been fully revolutionized. Next, Billy. We took this ship just under a year ago and basically gutted the ship. We took everything down to the hull. It wasn't just a situation of going in and putting new paint on and fresh soft goods and so forth. Go ahead. We just took this and totally renovated this ship. We took her down to the hull and we created all kinds of beautiful new staterooms. We created a lot of just new soft goods. We have beautiful new public venues. Whether you're interested in cruising in one of our suites in the retreat area, you have access to so many gorgeous, gorgeous venues on board this ship. Now, if you do choose the retreat with us, you have not only a spectacular stateroom in a suite, but you also have access to some beautiful private areas, including the Celebrity Lounge, the Retreat Lounge. You have a private sun deck area, private dining areas, and so forth. But let's take a look at what a standard stateroom even looks like on this. These staterooms were totally renovated. From the bathrooms, they're all the beautiful marble and glass and updated with the nice roomy showers in there, to the staterooms. If you're familiar with Celebrity Cruises and you know that we had a new series of ships, the Edge series launched a little over a year ago. Our second one just launched in the last few weeks. You'll see a lot of similarities in the renovations on board Summit. The color palette is very, very similar. Just the textures and the marble and the beautiful finish out on this is very, very similar to what you would find on Celebrity Edge. Next. So you're going to be on this totally renovated ship. You're going to have the opportunity to experience these beautiful venues. You can see it's all about the light, bright. Gone are the days of low ceilings and dark colors. Everything invites you to the outdoors on these ships now. And if you've ever been on Celebrity Summit or one of these Millennium class ships, you will really recognize the difference here. Next. So with this ship being totally redone, let me share with you a little bit about her, not just how beautiful she is, but the size of her. She is a delightful size. She's right at 2,000 guests. But one thing to remember when you're cruising with Celebrity Cruises is it's not the number of guests on, but it's the amount of space that you have on board. We have a much higher space to guest ratio than most cruise lines out there. We also maintain on every cruise ship that we're on within the Celebrity fleet, we maintain that one crew member for every 2 guests that are on board. Next. If you happen to notice on that picture, you'll see that she has that dark blue hull. That's also a very much a fuel saving. That's a special paint that we put on board that allows the ship to move just effortlessly through the water. So let's talk about these destinations. This Canada-New England cruise, the series that we do starts in late August, the very end of August, and runs through October in the prime foliage season for this area. Now, this is the basic itinerary running 12 nights. It is round trip from Boston, and you can see we have a variety of different stops here. It would originate in Boston with the first stop in Portland onto Bar Harbor, and then day at sea, and you're going to cruise into Quebec City. Quebec City is actually an overnight for us, and then back out to Charlottetown, Sydney, Halifax, and onto Boston. Next. Our first point of embarkation, as I mentioned, would be Boston. This is such an incredible, incredible city. If you've never been to Boston, I would encourage you to plan your cruise with either a pre or a post stay in Boston, because there's so much to see and do. And it's just such a shame if you're going in on a cruise and you just arrived the day that the cruise is taking off and you don't really have a chance to explore, whether you're interested from an architectural standpoint, whether you're interested from a historical standpoint, or you just love the culture of the area. You have a lot of different options in Boston to do some exploring. And I will tell you, from a cultural standpoint, I've never found any place any different, more unique than Boston. Our first cruise stop will actually be Portland, Maine. Now, Portland is a wonderful little city. It's actually voted very often as one of the top 10 cities in the U.S. to live. It's the foodiest small town in America, and that's voted by Bon Appetit magazine readers. So you have a lot of wonderful options for cuisine in this area, but you also have some great touring options as well. Very, very picturesque from the rugged side to the of the lighthouse and so forth, all throughout this area. Our next stop would be Bar Harbor, Maine, where you have the opportunity to visit Acadia National Park. This is kind of New England's real premier summer resort area for the 19th century for sure, and then into the 20th and 21st century as well. This has Millionaire's Row, where you see all the summer estates from very, very wealthy, elite folks in this area, from the Rockefellers to the Fords, the Vanderbilts, the Astors. This was the area that they all hung out there. So lots to see as far as the beautiful old stately homes. The terrain in this area is unbelievable. As I mentioned, Acadia National Park is in this area. You can actually go to Cadillac Mountain, which is just, the elevation there is about 1,500 feet. You can hike to the summit of the mountain if you're an outdoors person and want to enjoy that. But the other thing, whether you're in Boston, you're in Bar Harbor, Portland, all throughout this area, if you have a hankering for fresh lobster, it just doesn't get any better than this area. Whether you're talking lobster rolls or you're talking a lobster bake, all of this area is just a wonderful, wonderful area to experience excellent seafood. Next. Then on to Quebec City. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Quebec City or not, but Quebec City is referred to as the Paris of America, or the Paris of North America, and they're beautiful, historic area, just very quaint. Actually, for our guests traveling with Celebrity Cruises, when they take the surveys that we always send whenever you've cruised with us, this city is voted the number one most favorite of all the ports that we visit by our guests. So it's a beautiful, beautiful little city. You can stroll through the streets of the Low Town there. It's just a great area for sightseeing. And this is an overnight for us in Quebec City. So you're not having to worry about, what do I want to see, the fortress? Do I want to visit some of the old stately cathedrals? Do I want to go to Montmorency Falls? What do I want to do? You have plenty of time in this port to be able to enjoy a lot of things. Lots of historic architecture in this area as well. Then we're on to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Now, they say here, again, you want to talk about seafood, that this is supposedly the best mussels in the world. I don't know if that's voted on by the local residents or if tourists have an opportunity to chime in on that, but it is a wonderful area, again, for great seafood. This, of course, is the area where the Anne of Green Gables story in the Avonlea village originated. That is a fictitious village, but you do have the opportunity to be able to go in and visit the area. And they actually have a lot of wonderful old historical buildings in this area. In Avonlea village, they actually have a number of structures that were built back in the 1700s that you're still able to go in and visit. This is also, from a historical standpoint, very, very prominent area. This is where the Confederation of Canada, actually the delegates met whenever they actually created the Confederation of Canada back in the 1867. So a very historical significance here in Charlottetown. Next. From there, we're going to go to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Sydney is actually Cape Breton Island, and this is a gorgeous little area right on the northeast coast, and it's probably the largest metropolitan area on the island. Now, this area, this little town of Sydney, was actually founded in 1785, and it's kind of the melting pot, if you will, of the whole area. This is where all the immigrants came in, so it's got a huge amount of influence, both from a culinary standpoint as well as a historical standpoint. The French Acadians came in here, the Eastern Europeans, the Scotsmen, the Africans, everybody came into this area, so you've got a very, very eclectic feel to it. If you want to do a walking tour of this area, it's an easy area to go to and walk through. You can visit the Louisbourg Fortress here, which is the largest historical reconstruction in all of North America. And you actually can go back into the period time, and they allow the opportunity there for the whole reenactment of the first settlers to the area, and it's just a fun area. It's also a great area if you're interested in doing some shopping. You have the Big Fiddle Market there that is right at the cruise pavilion, and they've got great local artists and a lot of keepsakes and souvenirs. If you enjoy a lot of flora, you can visit the Halifax Public Gardens in this area. Just really, again, lots of different areas and things to be able to see. Now, while you're in Nova Scotia, let me tell you that Peggy's Cove is this little tiny fishing village. It's very quaint. However, it does have the most photographed lighthouse in all of North America, right in this area. And it's a great Kodak moment, if you will, to go and visit. You can visit the Halifax citadel there, which is also referred to officially as Fort George, named after King George II. If you're into the military standpoint, in the military history, there's a huge amount in this area. There are a number of museums that you're able to go visit as well. Next. From there, you're going to end back up in Boston. And again, as I mentioned before, please don't cheat yourself out of the opportunity to spend some time in this area and to do some exploration. Some of the things that we haven't talked about are the opportunities that you have whenever you do a pre or a post coming in. Certainly we have the opportunity to create an entire package vacation through Mann Travels, where you can do your hotel as you arrive early or you decide to extend your vacation. They can put together a land package for you if you'd like to come in and spend some time in the area doing some exploration, touring that area. We also have that opportunity available for you through the cruise line, where we can extend your stay as well. And then finally, I would like to close with some of the special offers that are out in the marketplace for you. Next. We have a wonderful offer right now that has some pretty substantial savings. Pricing, as you can imagine, based on the current scenario, pricing is very, very aggressive. We want to get people back out when they're ready to travel. We want to be sure that we're making it a viable option for you. And in addition to the wonderful pricing, we have a great savings opportunity that's going on. This savings will go through June 1st, and it's for any travel between now and May of 2022. So it would be the fall of this year if you were interested in these particular itineraries, or the fall of 2021 as well. So great opportunities there. In addition to the savings of anywhere from $100 per person up to $500 per person on this, you also have the opportunity to choose 2 additional perks. Those perks are very popular, and they include onboard credits of $150 per person, prepaid gratuities, the complimentary beverage package. You have any of the options that we have on board, or unlimited internet. You would have the option of 2 of those 4. Now, I also want to be sure that you're aware that whether you're interested in cruising Canada, New England, or the Caribbean, or Europe, or Alaska, whatever you're interested in cruising with us, know that you can, we have a cruise with confidence guarantee for you. So if you go ahead and make your booking and you're concerned as time comes closer to your cruise, you have the opportunity to cancel your cruise without penalty up to 48 hours prior to your departure. That means any time from the time you deposit up to the time you make final payment, up to the time of 48 hours prior to your cruise departing, you may cancel that cruise. And depending on where you are within that time frame, you can either receive a full refund, or if it's post-final payment, you have the opportunity to receive an onboard credit for the amount that you've paid. We want you to be comfortable when you're ready to return to cruising, and we want to give you that flexibility. With that, I would say thank you very much, Billy, for the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you and with your clients. And if you have any questions, please contact the agents at Mann Travel. They are very familiar with celebrity cruises, and they certainly will be able to answer any questions or contact me as well.
There I am. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm alive now. Sorry about that, everybody. As I was saying, Zoom is kind of new to a lot of us out here, so we're still working the kinks out. But we do want to thank Karen Kersey for taking the time today with Celebrity Cruises to let us know that we can dream now and cruise later. Please be sure to contact us with any questions, any future travel dreams you may have. Our information is our website is manntravels.com. You can reach out to one of your personal Mann Travels advisors. If you do not have a personal Mann Travels advisor, You can email us at vacations@manntravels.com. And you can also call us on our toll-free number at 1-800-343-MANN. We appreciate your time, everybody, today. Stay safe, and we will travel soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you, Karen.